don't have anything like Genghis Grill here in Moore.
In fact, we don't have anything like it in this part of the state. Come see why eating out with Genghis Khan can turn going to dinner into a tasty adventure. But first,
it's like a dying art. There's only 7 people in Oklahoma City that does this kind of stuff.
And Moore has one of them. See how this master of clocks is repeating a little Moore history and providing a much-needed service for anyone who has a mechanical clock. It's coming up right after this. Moore has an amazing selection of restaurants, many of which represent cuisine from other countries. From Germany to Ireland, China to Korea, Moore's eateries cover a significant portion of the world. How many different countries are represented by restaurants in Moore? We'll have the answer later in the show. It's funny how history repeats itself. Look closely at this picture. The man standing in front of the building is an early Moore pioneer, P.R. Sims.
P.R., who was really a unique person. He had a barbershop and he was a watchmaker. He was a licensed watchmaker and an inventor, and I believe a painter. Yes, I know I have a painting that he painted, but he was just an all-around Thomas Edison type fella.
In the picture, notice the barber pole on his left and the sign on his right that says Watch and Clock Repairing. This photo was taken in the late 1800s or early 1900s, at least 100 years ago, if not more. Now flash forward to 2011 and take a look at this sign: Quick Cuts and Tick-Toc Clock Repair. The more things change, the more they stay the same. This time around, the dual clock repair and barber shop is owned by Keith Coleman and his wife.
And that was 1800 and something.
Late 1800s.
Late 1800s. Now we're going back and do it in 2010, and I guess it's still working. Probably worked then, and it's still working now.
In fact, it's working quite well. Keith's wife stays busy with a steady stream of haircuts every day, and he stays backed up with numerous grandfather clocks, cuckoo clocks, and other mechanical varieties waiting for repairs or tune-ups. In his business, he has no need for a watch. When it's at the top of the hour, he knows it.
It's like a dying art. There's only 7 people in Oklahoma City that does this kind of stuff. And, you know, this is a clockmaker. You know, there's just not very many people around at all. And all the older people are retiring, and nobody's there to take their place. This is a movement of a grandfather clock right here. These 3 wheels is what makes it move. Whenever you put the weight on here, this is what pulls down on here, and that's what makes it go. There's 2 kinds of grandfather clocks. There's one that runs off a chain, which this right here is chain-driven clock, and then there's one that runs off cable, and then there's a hole right here that you wind it up with a crank, and you put a crank in, you wind it up, and they all run on weight. Weight is what pulls down on it, and that's how they all run.
While digital clocks and high tech are in vogue these days, the old-style mechanical motions of a grandfather clock can still be captivating. In fact, according to Keith, they can be downright addictive.
And they say, I can't do without my clock. How long is it going to be? I got to have that clock back. And they listen to it when they wake up at night. They hear the grandfather clock running. And they hear what time it's chiming on, so they know what time it is. And that's what they like. They say, some of them say, oh, we won't miss it. Go ahead and take as long as you need on it. Then a couple of days they get, you got my clock ready yet?
And surprisingly, there are still lots of mechanical clocks out there, enough to keep Keith backlogged most of the time. He typically drives to the person's house, virtually anywhere in the state, and dismantles the clock there, bringing the inner mechanics back to his shop for repair or cleaning. In fact, mechanical clocks are specifically designed to require an oil change every several years to run correctly.
But it's all got these little greasers, and you just take your little bottle and you just touch it. A dab of this right here, right here, and right here. A lot of people don't know that you're supposed to have them cleaned and oiled. Kind of like giving your car an oil change. You have to every once in a while. All these little gears in here will dry up if you don't. And you have to put fresh oil on them. It doesn't matter if it's grandfather clock, wall clock, or table clock. they still all have to be maintained.
Before the oil is added, Keith disassembles the clock to make sure all the gears and mechanics are functioning properly. He then gives it an ultrasonic bath where any dust or contaminants are removed. Then it's looked over with a magnifying glass to ensure it's fully clean and functional before adding the oil and setting it on a test stand to run for several days. Then it's back to the owners, who are usually anxiously awaiting.
They've always got some kind of story to tell you, and most usually they tell you how they got the clock, when they bought the clock. They bought it on her husband and wife's anniversary. Or, you know, there's some kind of unusual story.
Sometimes those stories span the ocean, back to Europe, where many of these types of clocks were first made. Unlike the disposable digitals of today, properly cared for mechanical clocks like grandfathers or cuckoo clocks can last for generations, even centuries. Which brings us back to that picture of P.R. Sims. Who knows, maybe some of the clocks he repaired more than 100 years ago are still around today. If they're in more, you can bet a trip to Tick-Toc clock repair is in their future. For more about Tick-Toc clock repair, consult the following contact information.
There's such a diversity of business available in Moore that we can go to. We can go to banks, we can go to medical facilities, we can go to schools, we can go to insurance agents, any kind of business. I've had the good fortune to work with the Moore Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber represents such a wide range of businesses, and I have all of those companies that I can call on. So we've just got an infinite variety of people to deal with, and that's really a big plus in our business. The Moore community is a very giving community. It starts with just the individuals that are here. They want to make sure that their friends and their neighbors are taken care of, and that's very important. I belong to several different organizations locally. We like to do things to help make sure that those who need something, if we can help, that we do help. And I find that everywhere I go in Moore, and I think that's just an outstanding comment on our community, and it's a good place to do business.
How many different countries are represented by restaurants in Moore? At least 10. They include America, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Mongolia, Mexico, China, Japan, and Vietnam. And maybe more than that. Have an adventure and go out to eat in Moore soon. As the legend goes, the armies of Genghis Khan would cook their meals over a fire on their shields. Such a cooking method seems to have come back into style again at Genghis Grill, Moore's newest restaurant.
That's what we've tried to recreate here is, we're cooking on, it's not a shield, but it's, a big circular grill, and we cook with sticks, which is the same way that they did it.
There's a circle on the grill, and then we cook all our chicken and the beef on the center of the grill, and at the edge of the grill we cook all the vegetables, pretty much steaming it. Only reason we cook the meat on the center of the grill so that it gets cooked all the way down. It's around 650 to 700 degree grill.
If it sounds like something of an adventure, that's because it is. Genghis Grill has created a completely unique way to go out to eat in Moore. Not only is there the big circular grill, but you actually pick out what gets cooked on that grill, from the meat to the veggies right down to the sauce.
You're your own chef. I think that's what makes it fun for everybody who comes in, is that, most people are like, oh, I wish I could cook. I wish I could do that, And here you can. You can do that. You can be your own chef. The only thing we do for you is cook it. You decide what flavors go well together, and you make your own bowl, which it's like everybody can be a chef outside of home.
This process happens in Khan's kitchen, where the guests select everything themselves.
We're in
Khan's Kitchen. There are 5 steps to make your perfect bowl. If you choose to, there are recipe cards here. If you want to go buy them, you don't have to stay with them. Pretty much feel free to do what you want. Make what you feel like you're hungry for today.
The recipe cards can be really fun. Each card outlines a different food combination, helping visitors narrow down what combinations may go best together, from a Mongo barbecue bowl to a Bayou bowl.
Teriyaki chicken is very good. It's our own recipes. We got broccoli beef or sweet and sour pork. So we try to tell them, you know, if it's overwhelming, you can pick one of those recipe cards and all you have to do is follow the color codes and you can make your own bowl.
First, you're going to choose your proteins. We have anything from chicken, steak, seafood, whatever you choose. Mix and match, put it in your bowl.
And when they say protein, they mean protein. There are at least 10 different types of meats to choose from. They're on the serving line raw, waiting to be cooked later in the process.
Second, you're going to season your proteins. The bottom spicier than the top. A little bit will go a long way. They are Asian spices. And then the third step is to pick your veggies.
We have 32 different kinds of vegetables, which I think is really awesome because even if you go to a normal Mongolian stir fry, they don't have that many vegetable selections to choose from. I love my vegetables, so when I can't eat meat every day, I like to go big on the veggies.
And then the fourth step is to select your sauce. There's mild, medium to hot.
The sauces are numerous and carry a variety of flavor combinations. It can seem daunting at first.
And there's one more I want you to try, Kanzu or Kanpao.
Fortunately, you have the opportunity to taste test any of the sauces beforehand,
Still want it hotter, Asian chili, but you got to be easy with it.
allowing you to get the flavor just right before it goes on the grill.
And then the last step is to call your starch. You'll let the guys know here what starch you want. We have anything from noodles, tortillas, and also rice you can choose from. And you'll give your bowl and your sauce to the guys. They'll give you a card with the number on it. You'll head back to your chair and we'll bring you everything else.
Then it's off to the grill, where everything is cooked with big wooden sticks, the Genghis Khan way, and sometimes a flare or two.
Then we try to put on like a little fire show for the kids when they come through, and they can stand at the grill and watch.
Moore's Genghis Grill is the first one in the Oklahoma City metro area, making it completely unique to the region, and that has already brought huge crowds.
We keep getting very good positive from all the more people, and people have been here like pretty much 3 weeks in a row and twice a week, 3 weeks in a row, so it's very happy to see those people coming back.
Many of the items at Genghis Grill offer healthy eating choices. In fact, look for a healthy eating contest coming from the store in the next few months. It really makes for a perfect combination: healthy food that tastes great and in an environment that seems more like a restaurant adventure, where you essentially make your own meal and watch Genghis Khan's shield cook the rest. For more about Genghis Grill, consult the following contact information.